let's make a painting. All right, so we're gonna start with water everywhere, of course. We're gonna put the paper. Is that center? Yes, it is. We're gonna use the big brush just to make sure the paper stick correctly on the paper, on the glass. That's not straight up. There we go. So we're gonna try to moist the sides and a little bit of the inside. There we go. Today we're gonna kind of use the big brush and try to experiment a little bit with the sky. When I start using different, when I use the same materials over and over and over, I realize that sooner or later you start to experiment, and it's normal because you get bored out of your mind to do the same thing over and over. And I already did a lot of those, so maybe it's time to start spice it up a little bit. So instead of using this brush only for moving around and watering everything, we're gonna use it for coloring, actually. So let's go with that. We're gonna take a little bit more. Man, I hope I don't start with a little bit more again. There we go. And just like that, we're gonna start tapping. Try to make some clouds. Man, I love clouds. My favorite thing to do. Keep adding more clouds. Adding more vibrant sea blue black, one of my favorite colors. Here. We want to be extra dramatic, of course, because I'm that way. Clean the brush. Now, once we have this, I'm gonna take my multiple brush and try to blend these clouds. Now, when I say blend, every time I say that, I'm keep repeating it like crazy, but when I say blend, I don't mean like destroying it. I mean like blend. Like keep the clouds, make them more fluffy, I guess. There we go. Good. Now for the foreground. Well, foreground, very simple. Sea blue black. Of course, it's gonna be more saturated. Mix with black and start going around. Actually, I need a little bit more water. Interesting. I'm mixing sea blue black with black. So I can just say I use black. There we go. Try to mimic the clouds. If you pay attention, usually it's less water than what I usually use, but you know, that's all right. Now we're gonna use Bluey. And the way we're gonna use Bluey is very transparent. There we go. And we try to cover the whole page. The bottom part of the paper. Once we do this, it's the time to take the palette knife and make some waves. There we go. And that's also gonna help us with the horizon line, actually. Closer we get to us, we can afford to make the waves a little bit bigger. You know, it's the ocean moving around a lot. There we go. Very freely. Now for the sky, before everything is dry out, we're gonna take our clean brush. It's gonna be the flat one. And we're gonna start working on that clouds. Now, I know I said they're gonna look more fluffy, and that's actually, we're gonna make them more, even more fluffy. Who doesn't like fluffy clouds? You can play all kind of games with them. There we go. And we're gonna just create multiple layers of these clouds. so they can look like it's coming down for you. There it is. Excuse me. A little bit here, a little bit there. It's a tedious work, man. But well worth it if you love clouds. Okay. It's like they coming. You know, it's like a storm coming. I always wish I can go to Europe with a boat. And of course, I'm romanticize a lot of this. I feel like it's way more dangerous than it's in my mind, of course. But you know, let's keep going. And you see me, I'm doing the same thing over and over. Dip in the water. Remove some of the paint, dip in the water, clean a little bit of water, and keep going and going and going. It's like, man, that's a lot repetitive. But you know, it is what it is. Now we're gonna take a tiny brush. Well, not tiny, but smaller brush. And we try to salvage whatever we have here from the sea blue black. And with that one, we're gonna create the high contrast in these clouds. There we go. And I don't try to be specific. I will blend it a little bit. I will not leave it like this. A little bit more water. Make it darker here. Now we're going to use the multiple brush. Touch of water. And again, try to kind of blend it. There we go. And for the final touch, it's going to be same brush that we used to remove some of the paint. But this time, we're going to dip it into the shadows we just put. And we're going to try to spread them around. And that's going to give us extra layer of, for our perspective. So we can have like kind of shadows of different clouds on the back. So one time we use it for removing paint. And the other time we use it to add and spread these clouds around. There you go. Now, of course, we can keep going with this. One thing I would love to do, man, you can keep going. You know, I can remove some of it now and even add light to the new new clouds and shadow to new clouds. You can go forever with clouds. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know, I love them. And of course we want to match the sky. So in every little wave, we're gonna add some reflection, a little bit of water. I'll make it kind of yellowish. We don't want to go too crazy. Now, of course, we can keep going with this and we can make it look, because it starts to look more realistic at this point. And I don't want to do this. But we can add a boat, we can add so many other stuff, but I will try to keep it simple. I will much prefer more spontaneous and simple stuff. We can put a bird. Actually, why not a couple of birds flying around? That's about it. And there we go, watercolor, abstract, landscape.